You're listening to the 49 Carats podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats podcast. I'm your host, Steph, and as always, we're keeping it rolling with these prospect interviews. Joining me today is Troy linebacker Carlton Martial. Carlton, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steph. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Thank you for coming on because I know this is a very busy time for you, and so I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. But we're just going to get right into it. Really, what we want to do with these interviews is for people to get to know you, not just on the football level. You know, everyone knows the stats, everyone knows what you put on tape, but at the end of the day, you on a personal level and just like how you approach the game and all that. So we're just going to get right into it. You spent your entire collegiate career, 5 seasons at Troy. What was it about Troy that made it the right fit for you and, kept you loyal throughout that time, kept you from transferring?
When I first got there, I was sort of familiar with the city because I had family members, up there already. They told me what type of city it was, basically the college, the entire city, So it was a nice home feel, and just being there, all the people, I met through the time I'm there, family members that actually told me how the city was, going up there and just being a part of that, it was just special. I know some guys that I met there that's going to be a part of my wedding still, and I still keep track of to today. So, yeah, I couldn't leave those guys. It was really all about them.
That's awesome. And I'm sure having some family around, it's nice to have them around at games, every week and things like that. And, it really feels like Troy has a really good like brotherhood going on. I mean, smaller school, I feel like a lot of the smaller schools, it's all about like family and brotherhood and being really tight with your guys. So it seems like you guys have that over there as well. Was there a year at Troy where you felt you really came into your own as a player, or, like the game really just started to slow down for you?
I would say I came in red shirt in 2017. Then 2018, I made my first start against Boise State. But I believe maybe halfway through that season, I think against Coastal Carolina, I think I started to get the hang of it. It was some older guys who kind of were, mentors to me. I would say, other walk-ons like cornerback Blaze Brown, Hunter Reese. DN Hunter Reese, even the guy in my class, Justin Wizard Hunt, those guys, they really helped me out. Just understanding the speed of the game is much different, but once it slowed down, it's always history.
Yeah. Oh, history for sure. I mean, something definitely clicked because you were named All Sun Belt first team 2 years in a row. You were 2022 Sun Belt DPOI. But Carlton, I would ask you what your proudest moment at Troy was, but I think I might know the answer because you broke the FBS all-time tackles record, finished with 578, and that's incredible. And that's history. That's history right there. So congrats on that. Tell me what that meant for you to be able to accomplish that.
No, really, throughout the season, I had a lot of people telling me, hey, you have this much till you get the record, this much, this much. I was like, hey, guys, that's not really that's not what it's all about, honestly, because, that's a good accomplishment and everything. But, after having those down 3 years as the leaders, we took it upon ourselves. Like, it was kind of our fault. Because we let the standard slip. So he said, just seeing how resilient we were to come back that next year.
Oh, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but
Oh. I don't know if it's Wi-Fi or something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, it could be the Wi-Fi, but yeah, I mean, in this resort, it's not that good, but yeah.
Oh no. You know what?
Oh.
If it does it again, I would say we maybe do without video, just that way we.
Okay, yeah, this should be good now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but Just really just seeing how the team bonded. That was a good moment to break that record. But just seeing how the team came together, and I think it really took a turn of the App State game. When it came down to that last play, and we lost in dramatic fashion like that on the last play, Hail Mary. Even though I didn't play that game, I feel like that was one of the most important games of my career. Even though I didn't play in it, I really saw a turn in our team because a lot of guys started to have their heads down. But I think that was our first challenge as leaders to see if we could actually keep this going and keep the guys still amped up about the season because we still had a completely full season left. So I feel like that us galvanizing the troops, I would say, just bringing everybody together. That was probably one of my most proudest moments.
Well, I think it speaks volumes about the kind of teammate, the kind of guy you are, the fact that, the individual accolades clearly are second to, the team goals that you have and what you guys have together as a group. And I think that's really important. That's really special. Hopefully you can still hear me, Carlton, even though, the screen's going black. Can you still hear me when that happens?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you clearly have the talent. I mean, you've put it on paper too. You've put it on tape. Despite that, though, it still feels like there are people who, underestimate you and doubt you. And I'm aware that it's because of your size. And a lot of folks consider you to be undersized for the position. But at what point, when you're making plays, when you have the instincts, when you possess all the other intangibles that you clearly do, when does that become a moot point, right? Like, how frustrating is that for you that people hold that against you, and how do you channel that into something positive?
Of course, I know it's going to be there being my size. I like to say it used to be fuel to the fire, but now adding fuel to the fire. But now it's like, okay, yeah, hey, I can't change my size. I can only get bigger. That's not really a big concern of mine. I go out there, play every game with a chip on my shoulder. Just being a player within the defense, listening to my coaches, and just going out there and having fun. That's really what it's all about. You have people that doubt you, every day, but if you listen to them, then you start to doubt yourself. And I never really tried to do that.
Yeah, gotta take control of what you can control, right? And well, you did get an opportunity to go to the Senior Bowl. You got that invite. Congrats on that. How did it
Thank you.
feel to get that invite, especially knowing that Mobile, that's your hometown, right? So how did it feel?
It felt really amazing, just, going to the game, growing up as a child, me and actually a close friend of mine, Jalen Tolbert, who's at the Cowboys now. He actually played in that game, I think last year, and other guys, Brandon Silvers, who played for Troy, just watching those guys, play before me in the game and growing up watching that game and always going to it. And it was just, I would say, like basically a dream come true, honestly, even though, the week didn't go as I planned, but just being there, getting the true feel of the NFL coaches and meeting some of the new guys from all over the country, it was just nice getting, I would say getting my feet wet.
Right. You didn't play in the actual game, but you still got to participate in practices, which for a lot of people, a lot of the scouts, like that's kind of more valuable than the actual game at times because you get those one-on-one reps and whatnot. And from an iron sharpens iron standpoint, who was your favorite player to go up against while you were out there?
Favorite player to go up against? Ooh, that was I would say I believe it was Chase Brown, the running back from Illinois.
Yeah.
So it was really good, again going up against him, and pass pro and things like that, one-on-ones, trying to cover him and everything. And I really think, he was one of the better athletes there, and it was just a fun time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, he was definitely one of the standouts. I'm sure that it was fun to go up against him. Tell me about your mindset when you have that you have to drop into coverage. What's your comfort level with that?
I'm really comfortable with that. All these years in Troy, I started at Mike linebacker, but this last year they kind of moved me to will to where I could cover more and still fill in on the box. So it kind of came. I wouldn't say naturally, but you definitely had to work at it. But having my older brother with me, He played at North Alabama, Philbert Marshall at cornerback. So him teaching me some things, some pointers, it started to catch on, I would say, maybe a few games into the season. I just kept working at it and just got better and better.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what are some cues that you look for when it comes to properly diagnosing a play?
When it comes to properly diagnosing the play, if it would come from like just a backfield or just a box, you have to look at the O line. If they're light on their fingers, you're getting the pass. Some big guys, big guards, they pull, so definitely they'll be light on their fingers or they'll be leaning. Or you can tell by the splits of the wide receivers, what kind of routes you're going to get. If the back's wide, you got a tight one receiver. You're getting a wheel route on a slant by one. Little things like that you could really help you play that much faster.
And when it comes to film study, and you're watching your opponent, what are the things you're looking for? Because as a linebacker, yeah, you might get a one-on-one rep with a tight end or a running back, but for the most part, you're kind of just looking at the offense as a whole, right? And what they're running, how they do it. I mean, you kind of alluded to that just now. So what goes into that film study for you?
Day one, you start off with definitely the O line. You look at their tendencies, like who's the best O lineman they have and who's the weak link. If you see any holes, anything you can exploit, any tendencies that the quarterback has, who he likes to throw to, his favorite target is, the depth of the running back as well, what type of plays you're getting, like what's his favorite move, like if he likes to stiff arm or does he like to hurdle you, things like that. And I think that really helped me out the Marshall game because having, that running back, he loved, to hurdle guys. So we tried to, keep him on the ground as much as we could. And that, I think we did a good job at that. So, definitely day one, you have to look at that box and see, little details like that could just make you play faster.
Awesome. And I know at this point you're probably preparing for your pro day. Why don't you remind us when your pro day is scheduled, by the way?
It's March 21st at 8 a.m.
24th. All right. And that will that be at Troy? Because I know some players go to different schools for pro days. Is that one at Troy?
Yes, that'll be at Troy.
Okay, cool. I'm asking because I want to follow along. I'm like, I'm gonna be checking on Twitter and whatnot. But how has training been going so far? Like, what's a typical training day looking like for you right now?
Training day, of course, we're going 2-a-days. You wake up early in the morning, go in there, get breakfast, do your, pre-morning treatment. If you got like some stretching you need to do, you got to work with PTs, little things like that. Then at 9:15, you're working out, boom, we're doing field work, working on starts or lateral movement, change of direction, more directional work. Then we could take a little lunch break, probably around, I would say 11:30. And then we're back at it at 2:15. That's when the weight room work. That's when we start pumping a little iron. But yeah, that's when I think we go for maybe an hour and a half, and after that, you get dinner, and after that, it's recovery. So you get your hot tubs, you get your contrast hot tub, cold tub, and sometimes you have a massage later that night. So yeah, it's a full day, but they used to always tell us, but the weeks go by fast.
Yeah, so like as I've had some of these interviews, a lot of the guys have mentioned like, man, I don't even know what day it is anymore because like every day, most of the day is geared to training and all that. So I have a newfound respect for it for sure. Does it give you any extra motivation to want to outdo some of the times you probably saw some of the guys at the combine wanting to outdo some of that a little bit?
I believe, it was just competition, everybody being here, guys like, Adetomawa, Northwestern, he ran what he ran at the combine, Derek Brown, Eku Leota, guys like that. We here became, just a family, honestly, and just pushing each other to get better numbers. I think that's what really, helped us, everybody out. And that's still kind of helping to this day, guys pushing each other just to be better and, coaching one another, I would say, and giving each other pointers or things.
Right. I got to see and talk to Jake Andrews at the combine. Great kid. And like knowing that a few of you are in this process together, like are you guys are exchanging advice throughout all this, I assume?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What's like the biggest piece of advice that you guys have either gotten or received or given to each other?
Really, we knew once you get into this type of training, you're gonna have those dark days where you're sore, you're tired, you're gonna look at your numbers, they're not what you think they're gonna be, but you say, hey, just keep your head down, just keep on working because yeah, you're sore now, but you're just building your body up for that time. And when you guys lose all that soreness, you lose all that, tired, and you just change your mentality. I would say, a lot of guys, didn't have a problem with no mentality coming in, but when you get in those dark periods, you start to just lay in your bed and just look at the ceiling sometimes. But just really just being there for one another and just hanging out even outside of the facility. I think that's what really brought us closer together.
Yeah, it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. No pun intended. I mean,
Yeah.
but really, it's a long process, and so yeah, I'm sure sometimes it's hard to remember that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's the goal that you guys have. It's worth it for sure. Look,
Yeah.
I know that being drafted by any team would be a dream come true, but just hypothetically, what would it mean for you to get to learn under a guy like, say, Fred Warner?
Get to learn a guy like Fred Warner, words can't even explain that, knowing that he's at the top of epsilon of, I would say linebackers in the league now, just seeing how he goes about the game, how he carries himself. He knows the play before they go on, his physicality, things like that. And there's one play that, clicks in my mind when I think about Fred Warner. I believe 49ers versus the Cowboys, they were covered two, and he ran the middle, had the speed turn with CD Lamb, and he got his head around, and yeah, incomplete pass. Yeah, that's one play I definitely remember from Mr. Fred Warner. So yeah, that
Yeah, that that
learning from
guy,
him is amazing.
that guy is a unicorn for sure.
Oh, yeah.
1-1. But look, are there any players currently in the NFL or in the past that you've kind of modeled your game after, or have just simply watched a lot of?
Watched a lot of definitely, Ray Lewis because, type of the intensity, how he goes about
Mhm.
himself, things like that, the hard nose. But also, I've took a look at London Fletcher. I've taken a look at Troy Polamalu most definitely because
Mm.
even at USC I used to watch him. I used to I go back to YouTube, watch his games, how he's always around the ball, things like that. Always making something happen, even though, I'm a linebacker. I strive to be like him, being speed, sideline to sideline, go make a play. So those are some guys I definitely looked up to.
Well, I definitely see that in your game for sure. Well, last question for you. What is a team, a fan base getting with Carlton Martial, both on and off the field?
On the field, you're getting a guy that's going to be there for the team, put it all in there, for the team. He can fill up the water bottles and they come out, run on the practice squad. It doesn't matter, it's all about the team. But a guy, definitely, heady guy coming there to work, understand that this is a business and, we're looking for, that family type feel. I'm going in there, trying to contribute, straight off the bat, but also, trying to learn as much as I can from the older guys ahead of me because you have to be a student of the game to put your best foot forward, honestly. And
Yeah.
off the field, you're gonna get a guy that's always smiling, always happy. You're not you're rarely gonna see me have bad days. I would say a lot of people say they have bad days, but you probably have a bad moment in the day or a bad hour, but you never
Hmm.
really have a bad day. Yeah, it just shows how you like really gotta carry yourself, honestly.
Amen. I love that mindset. Well, Carlton, this was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you got that busy schedule, but you let us get to know you today. I appreciate that. Good luck on your pro day. Good luck in this draft process and beyond. I'll definitely be following along.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, of course. And for those of you that tuned in, if you enjoyed this interview, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. There will be plenty more content like this to come. Monday, we're back at it. But for now, have a great rest of your Friday and an even better weekend. Peace.